Names.
Recording yoga flow in progress, and we the focus today is the earth element, which is connected to our stomach and our spleen. And I'd like Deb, can you have a towel?
Yes.
If you can get a towel and
Grab it.
we're gonna just roll it, not a huge amount, and I already did this with you in our practice. So I want to roll it about like maybe 2 inches, could be a little bit more. And it's going to go under my belly, and this is going to be our opening. So I'm rolling about 3 inches of a roll, and then I have some more remainder that goes out towards, it's going to be under my chest. And I'm gonna aim this roll for kind of the center, like kind of put my belly button on the roll. Kind of the center of my belly is going to come on this roll. No, on prone, on the roll prone. So this is a little, the idea of this is it's a little belly massage. So I'm going to come down, and I can stay up on my elbows. I basically want and untuck my toes, and then maybe if I come down all the way, there's a little more pressure. So I could choose to come down all the way and have my head one way or the other. Maybe I just kind of change my head periodically, or I might enjoy being up on my elbows. So what's happening is that we're kind of saying good morning to our stomach. So hopefully you didn't eat breakfast 10 minutes ago. And to the spleen. Well, I had a smoothie about 45 minutes ago, so the smoothiness made it pre-digested. So just kind of breathe into it, and we can sort of invite that when I inhale, I'm pushing the towel or blanket away. When I exhale, I'm just inviting it in and just getting a little looseness in my belly. You might find you need to make the roll a little bit smaller. You may find you want to make the roll a little bit bigger, depending on how it feels. If you get uncomfortable, feel free to push back into a child's pose if it gets a little too intense.
But it's above your pelvis, right?
It is definitely above my pelvis. It's in my belly, so I have it under my belly button. Or it looks like you're a little bit lower into the lower part of your abdomen.
No, it's my belly button.
Yeah, that's where I have mine too.
I'm short-waisted.
I'm very short-waisted too. So just a few more breaths here, just feeling these sensations, just noticing what you notice. This practice, we will be using this idea of this roll a few different times to basically invite circulation. And we're paying attention to the stomach and spleen meridians, which come up from our feet and go through our abdominal areas and then come up into the chest. Meridians are kind of the rivers that kind of where our chi flows in our bodies. Another maybe 2 or 3 inhalations and exhalations here. And then I'm going to come off by basically rolling off of it to the side. And then I don't need to get rid of my roll because I'm going to get involved with this roll again. So I'm going to just put it to the side of my mat. And let's just come supine for a moment of kind of a brief savasana to just notice on your back now how the front area feels, what you were just stimulating. How does that feel if you lie on your back? And then we can roll one way or the other to come up on all fours. So another aspect of kind of working with the earth element is that we want to stay really connected. We're going to explore different ways we can feel connected to the floor. So right here at all fours, get your arms organized so you're feeling super supported in your arms, your knees are underneath your hips. And then go ahead and tuck your toes, which is not normally what we do. And then inhale into a cow with your toes tucked. Inhale into a cow with your toes tucked. Notice how your belly feels as you inhale into your cow, relaxing your belly. And when you exhale and come into a cat, I want you to press on your hands and push your hips back, almost like you're in this kind of elevated child's pose. Right, so I kind of came into cat and I'm just pushing back towards my heels, keeping the toes tucked. And then I'm going to inhale and come forward into cat. So cow. So my cow feels fairly normal, but my cat, as I exhale into cat, I'm pushing my hips back towards my heels. So I'm kind of in this funny elevated child's pose. You can push your hips further back towards your heels. Look at me. Take a glance. So you're really pushing back, pushing the floor away with your hands. Then inhale back into cow. You can spread your fingers to an exhale. Really concentrate on pushing the floor away as you push back, keeping your connection to the earth with hands and toes. And then inhale back to neutral spine. We're going to come up and down dog. So my toes remain tucked. And I'm going to inhale up to down dog. Take a big exhale here. Inhale. You can pedal a little bit here. Exhale. Deep breathing. And then inhale into a full expression of your down dog. So your inner thighs are lifting back up behind you. Your hips are elevated. Your chest is melting towards your thighs and your head is nice and long and relaxed. Arm bones are hugging in. And then I'm going to inhale my right leg up. Exhale, step it forward near my right hand. Bring my left knee down, coming to this low lunge. And I'm going to really just drop my hips and lift my chest in this low lunge. So think about dropping my hips, but also lifting my chest and opening my shoulders in this low lunge. And inhale here. And then exhale, push hips back into a half split, but keep your toes connected to the floor for this half split rather than lifting my toes. And inhale, come forward, lifting my chest. And exhale, push my hips back, half split. One more cycle through that. Inhale, come forward, really open my chest, lift my head. Exhale, bow forward into my half split. Inhale, back forward into my elevated lower lunge. And let's inhale, my left hand's really connected to the ground. I'm going to inhale my right arm up and come into a revolve low twist and breathe here. And then my right hand is going to come down. I'm going to slide into a half catcher squat. So this is going to sound confusing. I'm going to push my hips back. I'm moving my left leg so my foot comes behind me, and I'm just going to sit down on my left heel if I can and leave my right knee up. And then I'm going to take my right arm and press it into my right knee. So I'm kind of opening the right knee with my right arm. Then I'm going to lift my left arm and sort of stretch, open my chest to the left as I press my right arm into my knee and breathe here. And then I'm going to put my left hand down. You can probably feel it coming into a supported side plank, right? So if I just lift myself up, I can be in a supported side plank, still on my left knee. So inhale here. I have to peek at my nose so I remember how I'm getting out of this. Okay. Here. All right, good. Now, when I exhale, I'm going to turn to put my hands down. And then when I come up, I'm going to come up into a three-legged dog with my left leg up in the air. So I'm placing my right foot and then I'm coming up three-legged dog, left leg is up in the air. Inhale here. Oops. Exhale, step my left foot forward, lower my right knee. I'm back in the starting position, low lunge, dropping my hip, lifting my chest, lifting my head to look up. Inhale here. I'm going to exhale, half split, keeping my toes connected to the mat. Inhale, come forward, hips drop, chest lifts, head lifts. Exhale, bow forward, half split. Inhale, come up, chest open, head up. Last time I'm going to exhale into this half split. Then inhale back to this elevated chest, dropped hip position. Then I'm going to turn my right thigh, my right shin and sit down on my right heel. So I'm doing side to left knees now in this half catcher position. Left arm connects to left leg, right arm opens, and I'm going to turn and open to the right and breathe here.
What's the purpose of this complicated thing?
Grounding in the earth.
Feels like grounding in the sky.
Now I'm going to put my right hand down, come up into half supported side plank. I can lift my leg or not lift my leg, whatever my mood. I'm on my right knee and right hand, left arm is up in the air, and inhale and exhale here. And then I'm going to put this left foot down, hands down, because I want to come up into a three-legged dog with my right leg up in the air. Great. Beautiful. And we're going to do that whole thing one more time. So exhale, right foot comes forward, left knee comes down, shining my chest forward on an inhalation. Exhale, bow forward into half split. Inhale, my chest comes forward, shines up. And then exhale, I'm going to push back into this squat position, opening my arms, opening out to the left. Inhale, put my hand down. Exhale, come up into side plank. Cycle of breath there. Exhale, my hand comes down. My right foot connects. I'm going to inhale my left leg up in the air. Exhale, step my left foot forward. Knee comes down. Hip drops, chest opens. Inhale here. Exhale, half split bow. Inhale forward, chest lifted. And then exhale, sit back down, and inhale, coming into that opening position on the opposite side. Exhale there. Inhale, my right hand hits the ground. Exhale, up into side plank, supported. Inhale, my hand comes down, left foot connects. Exhale, my right foot is up in the air. Moving on, inhale here. Exhale, step my right foot forward, put my left foot down. I'm going to come up into a warrior two position. So inhale all the way up and into your classic warrior two. And I want you to really feel your feet and feel your legs and feel everything. My front knee is bent, my back leg is straight. Okay, good. So now look straight ahead of you instead of to the side. This is going to be weird, I promise you. I'm going to move my right foot slightly to a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to inhale here, then I'm going to exhale and I'm going to bow forward. My hands are going to connect to the floor. And I'm going to walk myself forward as if my upper body was doing down dog and my lower body was doing warrior two. That's what's happening, and just breathe into that. It's weird. So feel your hands connecting to the floor, pushing the floor away with your hands, lengthening, drawing your arm bones towards you, lengthening your head, relaxing your neck, chest melts back, and then lift your hips back and away. So add a little more lift in your hips, back and away behind you.
It's like the icy bench.
Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Okay, good. Now I'm going to just walk my hands back. I'm going to walk my hands to the front of my mat, put my hands out outside of my feet, turn my right foot. Then I'm going to step my left foot in and I'm going to come down into this low squat. Now my heels are down, your heels may be up, and that's perfectly fine. I do want my knees to come, I want my elbows to come inside of my knees. So I'm trying to open up like this, if you can, like a catcher. So kind of full catcher pose and just breathe here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now I'm going to put my hands down. Picture it before you do it. I'm just going to push my hips up into forward fold so I can adjust my toes a little bit. Exhale in forward fold. And then I can inhale and come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of my heart. And I'm going to grab my roll again. And I probably want about 3 inches. So I may want a little bit less than I had the first time. And believe it or not, what's going to happen is I'm really going to put this into my hip creases. And as I do that, I'm going to stand, I'm a little bit wider than hip width apart. And I actually come a little bit wider, come almost to the edge of your mat with your feet, almost to the edge of your mat with your feet. So you're kind of fairly wide apart. And what's going to happen is I'm going to come into chair pose, but I want this in my crease as I come into chair pose. And probably I can put my elbows on my knees and just, yeah, put your elbows on your knees and just kind of be here. So we're inviting some circulation in the meridians, supporting stomach and spleen. It's a great preparation for Thanksgiving.
Childbirth.
And childbirth, which may not be in the cards for any of us. Just keep breathing. Now, if you like this and you feel confident, you can take it into a revolve. So revolve to the left if you feel good about your crease. Revolve and breathe here. Inhale back to center. Let's revolve the other way. I'm feeling all kinds of things too in my hips.
Me too.
All right, and then go ahead and put your hands down like you're in forward fold for a moment. And then go ahead and lift up enough so you can take your roll out. Don't throw it away or it's going to come back. And then let's just go ahead and step back into a downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, my left leg's coming up. We're going the other way. Exhale, step my left leg forward, turn my right foot. I'm going to inhale up into warrior two. If you remember where we started from, finding warrior two, finding the strength of my feet, up through my legs, up through my core. Look straight ahead, turn my left foot about a 45-degree angle, and then go ahead and bow forward and walk your hands out. So you're in this kind of funny half down dog, half warrior two position, and breathe into this. Press the floor away with your hands, draw your arm bones towards your head, let your head and neck relax, and then invite your hips to move back. And for me, for my feet, I have to really invite my arches to support the stance and breathe into this.
The leg's supposed to be straight or bent.
My left leg is bent as in warrior two. So my legs are in warrior two position.
This one's straight.
My right leg is straight, yeah. So my legs have kept that warrior two position. My upper body's in this kind of down dog position. So really feel kind of hands to hip, kind of feel this, you're pulling your hips back from your hands away from your hips, pressing into the floor. Feet are supporting, breathe, breathe, breathe. Now walk to the front of the mat, hands outside my feet, turn my left foot, and step my right foot in. I'm coming down into that malasana, so it's just pretty wide-legged. And then I'm going to put, I'll show it to you from the front, I'm putting my elbows inside. So my heels come down, not everybody's do. If your heels are up, that's perfectly fine. Wherever your body is comfortable is perfectly good. And just breathe here. Notice if you can feel more circulation. And then same thing, I'm going to put my hands down, inhale, hips up, exhale, forward fold. And then I'm going to step back, and I've got options here. I can step back to a plank and do a vinyasa flow, or I can step back to down dog. So I leave it to you what you want to do right now. If you want to take a flow, or if you would prefer to just go into down dog, and that would be perfectly fine. We will end up meeting up in down dog. Have a few cycles of breath to settle into your dog. Let's inhale our right leg up. We'll come into a little balance sequence here. Exhale, step forward. Inhale up, crescent lunge, or I can put my back foot back. I can put my back foot down if I'm happier in warrior one, wherever I'm happier. Breathing here. Now I'm going to put my back foot down and exhale into reverse warrior. And inhale my arms up and turn back to the front, and I'm going to step into tree. Picture it before you do it. I'm going to try to step into tree pose. Maybe my foot's down here. I can use my other hand to help me if I want to bring it higher. And if I don't want my arms up in the air, I can do Anjali Mudra. Oop, I got unstable. I can do Anjali Mudra, hug in hips, hug in waist, everything. And I can lift my arms if I feel balanced enough to do so. And then when you step back into that crescent lunge or warrior one, whatever it was, exhale, drop your hands down. Either vinyasa flow or step right back to down dog, whatever your pleasure. Inhale and down dog. Exhale, left leg comes up. Inhale, left foot steps forward. Exhale, come up into my crescent lunge or warrior one. Left leg forward, left knee bent. Exhale, put my back foot down. Exhale into reverse warrior. Inhale, my arms are coming up, turning back to the front. I'm going to step into tree. So here's where Andrea's left ankle is still recovering. So she's going to take a low tree here. So whatever you want, you can use your hand to bring your foot up higher on your leg if you prefer that. Breathing out. See if you can feel any of that extra circulation that we've generated in the practice. All right, and then exhale to step back into your starting position, whether it was warrior one or crescent. Inhale, dropping my hands. I can take a vinyasa flow or just meet me in down dog, whatever your preference. Once I'm in down dog, I'm going to inhale here, full expression of down dog, and exhale. And inhale my right leg up. Exhale, I'm going to step it forward and bring my other knee down into a low lunge. And maybe I'm quite forward and stretching my hip flexor. Maybe I'm a little further back, but this time I'm focused on stretching my quadriceps if I can. So what I want to do, and I know this doesn't work for everybody, but I'm going to bend this back leg. I'm bending this up, and I'm going to see if either same hand or opposite hand can grab my foot. So same hand or opposite hand could grab my foot. If it can't, I can just be stretching my quadricep by bending the foot. So either way, you're either making that connection or you're not. Breathe into that. And then if wherever you are, even if you just are not holding it, see if you can open a little bit to the right. Open your chest a little bit to the right. Open chest to the right. Open, turning chest, turning right shoulder back and opening the chest a little bit to the right in this pose. Breathe there.
These are tricky.
And then exhale, come out of it. Inhale and transition. Let's go ahead and exhale back into a child's pose. Let's take a child's pose. Separate your knees, toes together, sink back into a child's pose. My forehead is coming down on my mat. And I'm going to just breathe into my back here for a few moments. Really feeling an expansion under my armpit, where so many things connect in there. A bunch of muscles like latissimus and some rotator cuff muscles, serratus anterior, pec minor and major. It's also where my heart meridian is, right, nestled right up into my armpit.
That's why I find it fleeting, isn't it?
All right, let's inhale and come up. So switching sides, my left leg is coming forward. I had to think about it. And come into kind of the same depth of position, whether your hips were a little bit lower, your hips were a little bit higher in your low lunge. And then lift that other knee and either grab the foot or don't grab the foot, but stretching the quadricep on the other side and breathe here. And then same thing, I can kind of open my chest to the left a little bit here, regardless of whether I can, breathe here, beautiful, So Lynn took it into a little bit of a half bind since she can't grab her foot, that's perfect, breathe here.
Okay.
Exhale to come out of that and just kind of sit up for a moment. And we've got another, I gotta move my glasses and check my time. I'm pretty good on time. So let's, we're gonna do another roll here. So, and this might even be, you might even want this one to be a little bit thicker than the other rolls have been, okay? And we can just kind of come from this seated position. What I want to do, I'm going to come back into a low lunge with my right foot in front. And what's going to happen is I'm going to put this roll right up into my crease. So again, this is all about circulation. And then I'm going to come forward and my hands are on the floor. And maybe I'm happy here, just kind of with it centered and my hands are on the floor. But if I wanted to, I could come into a twist on this side. So I can come into a twist on the side, on the right side. Yeah, and just breathe into that. So again, it's all about circulation in these meridians that do a lot of work for us. The spleen is our yin organ in the earth element, and the stomach is the yang organ in the earth element. So the yin organs are more precious because they're doing special functions for us of cleaning things out in the case of the spleen. And the yang organs tend to be more hollow, like the stomach, and it's just kind of something that things process, just kind of flow through, right? So we've got a yin organ here and a yang organ here. We're stimulating both of them, just breathing here. All right, so let's take this roll out, put it right in front of me. I'm gonna come into a kneeling seated position. You could come into any seated position you wanted to come into, just to feel that circulation. If you wanted a little bonus, you could come into broken toe, which means I'm putting my toes underneath me and I'm actually just sitting back on my heel with my toes underneath me. So just a little broken toe bonus here, but I want to, which I feel my feet a lot in broken toe, but I want to pay attention to just kind of what's this circulation that I'm feeling, and I'm feeling it here, but I'm also feeling it going down my legs. So hopefully we're feeling the circulation going in both directions, up and down. You can come off. You don't have to stay in broken toe. Just another breath here. And then we're going to get ready to come to side two. So I'm going to step my left foot forward, putting my crease in my left crease and coming forward. And I can start with this kind of center position with my hands on the floor. Remember the premise that I'm going to inhale and push the blanket away and exhale and invite it in. I want to get mine a little deeper. And then if I like this, I can come into a twist on this side and breathe here. Earth is actually associated with late summer, so I'm a little late in bringing this practice in, but I thought it would be fun to feel like we've pulled summer with us to this moment in time, and as we head into Thanksgiving, we can start to admit to ourselves that winter is coming.
Lynn's admitting nothing.
I don't like to admit that at Halloween. I only like to admit that this late. Breathe here. All right, and then lift up. Believe it or not, I'm going to have a roll one more time. So just place that down and you can go back into child's pose and just have a couple of breaths here just to change everything and notice the circulation. Kind of notice when everything is really kind of you're compressing your belly and spleen area in child's pose, but just notice what you feel about the circulation that we've created. created. The meridians run from our toes all the way up our legs, up our abdominals, up into our chest area. They each end at different points, but they end somewhere up there. And then look forward, because we're gonna come on our belly, we're gonna come into locust or shavasana. So I'm gonna stretch my legs out, I've come forward, and I'm gonna draw my arms along my side. And let's start off with putting my head to one side or the other, completely relaxed. So see how I just dropped my shoulders? Completely relax and just breathe here. Feel the earth underneath you. Now let's inhale, drawing my shoulders back, lifting my arms so my arms are reaching back behind me. And then I'm going to inhale, my head is just kind of hovered. I'm going to inhale upper body and lower body at the same time. Inhale, upper body comes up, shoulders are going back behind me, legs are up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, exhale, down. All right, now I'm going to give you some options here. So take this roll again, and it's going to kind of be the biggest roll effort ever. So I've rolled all mine up. And where I want this now is just right above my pelvis bones. So it's on my belly, but right above my pelvis bone, so it's fairly low. It's lower than it was the first time. And come into like a sphinx position, so my elbows are underneath my shoulders, and I can stay exactly, untuck my toes, and I can stay exactly like this and just breathe here. Or if I want to put my hands down, I can inhale up to a cobra, right? So it's a little supported by the belly. I can inhale up into a cobra, and I can stay here. And if I'd like to come into bow pose, I can bend my left leg, reach my left hand back to grab my left foot. Same on the right. And then I can come up and then push it. Oop. I know I fell forward, pushing my legs back. So I've got this supportive bow pose because the blanket's holding me up. So look at where I am.
I can't reach that.
I know, so sit up, come up into your cobra. Start this whole thing from your cobra.
I still can't reach. I mean, really.
Well, you may not be able to reach, but yeah, just feel it, breathe, breathe, breathe. You don't have to do this. You've got all those options. You could be in cobra and you can be in sphinx. You can be, those are all your options, and just breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Another couple of breaths. All right, so why don't you push back in a child's pose way, like push off of it by pushing up and back. Now the roll goes away forever, no more roll. And let's swing our legs forward into Dandasana. I like to sometimes lift up and kind of pull my cheeks out. Let's flex our feet and flex our hands. Let's do a little wrist and ankle relaxation, pointing feet and hands, flexing feet and hands. Lift the breath, nice, sitting nice and tall. See if your shoulders can relax, neck can relax, maybe move your neck around a little bit. See that you're relaxed in this pose. Now I'm going to point my right foot, point my right hand, flex my left. No, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to flex my right hand, point my right foot, point my left hand, flex my left foot. Now I'm going to flip. So a little counterlateral. It's good for the brain. It's so good for the brain, it took me a minute to say it correctly. Keep going. All right, beautiful. Now let's really invite ourselves to feel the ground underneath us by coming supine. So I'm gonna lie back down. I'm gonna get my shoulders underneath me. I'm gonna get my sacrum underneath me. I'm gonna touch my heels so I feel like my feet are sufficiently in to support bridge pose. I'm about hip width apart. Lay my arms down on the ground. Let's inhale and push my hips up as high as they want to go. Exhale, float them down. Inhale to come up. Exhale to float down. The next time we'll go up, we're going to bring our shoulders underneath us. So I'm going to inhale up, and I can exhale and walk my shoulders underneath me, and then keep breathing. I can clasp my hands underneath me and just keep breathing and stay really elevated. Feel the earth under my feet, feel the earth under my shoulders and under my head. Let's inhale here. And then exhale, float down one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, floating down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, hug my knees in, rock my sacrum. Let's put my feet down on the ground, mat width apart. And then I'm going to just drop my knees from side to side. And really this is so relaxing. So there's not a lot of, there should be no muscle tension in this action. It's just my knees are going to drop from side to side. My hips are going to flounce with the knees falling from side to side. We call it windshield wipering the knees. All right, beautiful. So now place your feet on the floor, stretch your arms out into a T, either side of your shoulders. Inhale here and exhale, and let's lower the knees to the left. If you want your left hand on top of your knee, you can put it there and just breathe here. Keep your neck central, keep your face looking straight up. Maybe your eyes are closed, maybe your eyes are open, and just breathe here. And then I want you to get a little movement in the legs. So what I want to do is I'm going to straighten and then bend the top leg. So straighten and bend the top leg. Again, it's either under my left hand or it's just free floating, whatever works for me. Just straighten and bend. And then pause for a moment and breathe here. Nice inhalation. Exhale to pull my knees back to center, put my feet back down, tee my arms out again. I'll twist so I can show this from a different perspective. Inhale here, exhale, my knees are dropping to the right, and perhaps my right hand comes on top of my left leg, or it doesn't, and just breathe here. Keeping the face right up center. Maybe your eyes are fluttered closed, maybe they're open, and breathe. And then same thing, let's straighten and bend this leg. Maybe my hand's on top, maybe it isn't. Take it nice and slow, just explore a little bit of movement and stretching the hip through the action of this bending and straightening. One more time to bend and straighten. And then inhale here, exhale to come back to center. And you can hug your knees in. We've got a moment, so let's try one more thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my left foot on the ground, my knee stays bent, and I'm going to straighten and bend my right leg here. So I'm going to straighten my right leg, whatever straight is for you. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, and then bend it. And why don't I point as I straighten and flex as I bend? Good. Point to straighten, flex to bend. I feel like you can hear my knee creaking. One more time. Okay, good. And then put that foot down and maybe march just a little bit, march. And right foot comes down. So my left leg is going to straighten and bend. So my left leg is going to straighten, pointed toe, bend, flex. So the emotion that's associated with the earth element is worry. And I just want to point out that, worry is an emotion that is kind of a useful emotion, but can become too much and too extreme, right? So to a certain extent, worry means that I'm paying attention to the world, paying attention to my world, paying attention to my people, caring about outcomes. And so that sort of is a healthy form of worry. And then of course, worry can get obsessive, and in which case I'm worrying, way too much, like my mother worrying about bears on Mount Desert Islands, given that there's no bears here, right? So that would be an excessive worry.
A bear took currency last night.
You think you had a bear?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, good. Put your feet down. Any final position before a little relaxation in Savasana? Maybe it's a little happy baby kind of sort of thing, whatever you feel like you need.
Stone.
And a cappuccino, and then you can stretch your legs out. And again, I really love this position where I open my palms up, and it just sort of feels like it invites my shoulders to externally rotate, which I appreciate, and breathe here. You have that towel or blanket lying around. If you want a little neck roll, you could do that. and you can deepen your breath. And then just sort of take note of your position here, kind of sprawled out on the earth. And then just think about, how does your body want to come up to a seated position today? Of course, if you're watching this video in the future and you're at home, you can choose to stay in Savasana for additional time. And if you're going to meet up in a seated position, or even if you have stayed in Savasana, let's have 3 breaths together. Let's inhale through our nostrils, crown reaches tall, either supine or seated. Exhale, open the mouth to sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale. So we use that inhale to grow taller. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Thank you for joining me for this earth practice today. I snuck it in because it's the only class this week with the holiday. But I think when we return next week, I'm going to admit the flipping of the season and bring in a water practice. And the water element is associated with the kidney and the bladder meridians. So we'll come into a water element practice next week. All right, happy holidays, everyone.